Bet.
What do you got going there, George? I got a barbecue chicken wrap, barbecue chicken, cheese, lettuce, and bacon in a
All
wrap.
right. I got a spicy shug add avocado from Shugs in Dallas. My brother and I decided that wasn't enough food, so we're both splitting a plain bagel with schmear
Mm-hmm. Yep, we sure are.
and an iced coffee.
I'm giving this thing like an 8-2 wrap.
Mm.
Solid wrap here.
9 out of 10 bagel Sammy. This shit is so gas.
Iced coffee into the bacon, egg, and cheese sounds like a tough combination for a 2-hour recording session.
It sure does. George doesn't believe in the decimal system with food ratings.
Just straight number.
Mm-hmm.
Just straight
Really?
number.
That's interesting.
I mean-
I haven't heard that before.
I don't
If it
believe in
gets
that at
down
all.
to the nitty gritty,
Yeah, I agree.
I
I
will.
would rather you go like out of 5 and still have decimals and be like 3.75 out of 5 instead of
I would
like
also
9
I
out
would
of
also
10.
rather you just be like high 7, mid 7, low 7, high 6. You know what I mean?
There's certainly
maybe
a
that's
difference.
the addition I make.
Okay.
Because like this is an 8-2 wrap. This is not an 8-8 wrap.
Correct. And the
Yes.
difference is astronomical. Like
Mhm.
that's a 0.6 difference right there. That's almost a point, a full point.
My thinking is, though, this Sammy is not low. It's not like an 8.8 or an 8.9. Like, it is genuinely like a 9 out of 10. Like, it is reached the tier of I would drive an hour to go and get this.
Okay,
But it's not.
that's
It's
different
not
than
like above that. You know what I mean?
So
It's
what's
not-
a
so
10
it's
out of
not-
10 wrap?
yeah, but like a
Just
9-9
as a
wrap.
question.
That's not a 9-9 wrap. But if you say 9, someone might think like, oh, that's a high 9.
Like is a 10 out of 10 wrap like you'd kill your firstborn son to have that bacon, egg, and cheese?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
10-10 wrap is you're ordering it for your wedding.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
so facts.
I don't hate that. That's a good take. That's a really
I'm
good
not
take.
ordering this for my wedding, but I will be ordering it again.
You
I
will
would
be
order it
having
for I would order it for my boy's wedding. Like if I was going to one of your weddings, I'd eat this wrap.
I got a food take for you guys.
Yeah.
If I were to eat this on bread as a sandwich, I would have felt wildly unhealthy. But since I'm eating it in a wrap format, it feels like healthy.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what the psychological difference is when you put that wrap.
I think it's
In
just
the
like the
mix.
way that it looks like there's more lettuce.
Yeah.
There isn't.
When it's just the same amount. Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's get into it now.
Boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Corner Office Pod. It's good to be here. I mean, obviously, you guys saw what we had for lunch earlier today. I had nothing. George with the bacon, egg, and cheese, and Jack with the breakfast burrito wrap. Not even a lunch burrito wrap. So let us know in the comments which one of those looked the most smacking. And we'll probably do some more food-related content as we go along here. But I think that the first thing that we have to start off is just by saying, like, it's really sad whenever Scott Hansen turns off the TV for the last time on NFL Red Zone. You know, you get so excited for NFL football, and I'm always super excited for the Super Bowl just as it is. But that week 17 where you see Scott Hansen's face for the last time as he goes into hibernation, like, it's a sad day. It's a sad day for me. I mean, your Sundays just they're so high during the NFL season. And one day, I mean, Big Cat said this before on part of my take, like, every Sunday you get to watch football. And then one Sunday you're going to die and there's going to be no more football. And that's a sad day. So I think that every Sunday that you can appreciate watching Red Zone with Scott Hansen is a good day. And it was an incredible NFL season, one that we'll talk about a ton today with our NFL playoff preview. But it's good to be back in the studio with you guys. I mean, we've been moving around a little bit these past 2 weeks. So, yeah, let's talk about some football this week. I'm super excited to get right into it.
I think you're right, dude. The future of our Sundays look properly understimulated with the Red Zone being over.
I do have to say, it's kind of incredible that 35% of our Sundays throughout the year are filled with on to the next clip, on to the next game.
Yep.
I mean, it just the joy of hopping from the most boring game, like the most boring clip from the most boring game to like an actually exciting game makes the other 65% of the year a little bit.
Some math that I wouldn't be
Special.
interested in doing is like my time watching Red Zone versus my time doing homework for school this year.
Oh yeah, dude.
Or like
I don't need to do the math on that
if
one.
we spent the time that we watch Red Zone studying something like astrophysics, we'd have a lot more astronauts in this country.
Yeah, we would.
This is Jack Burns' witching hour, where B's become D's and D's become B's. Can he get his homework done on time? Yeah, but it was an awesome. It was an awesome end of the week this year, and you know what? I think the most interesting thing about this NFL Sunday, as it is normally Week 17 used to be formerly Week 16, is a week where starters get rested and no one really plays for anything. That was not true at all this weekend. There were multiple games that like had major playoff implications. Obviously, you look at that last game on Sunday night between the Ravens and the Steelers is the one that like sticks out as obviously the most implication-based game. We'll get to that in a little bit. But like the Rams had to win for seeding. They had to play their starters, right? The Jags had to win for seeding. The Bills had to win for seeding. The Broncos had to win to secure the 1 seed. The Patriots had to win. So like a lot of these teams had to show up and show out, right? Both the Panthers and the Buccaneers were trying to vie for a playoff spot. They needed the Saints or the Falcons to win. We'll talk about that too. The 49ers played the Seahawks. Like there were so many games this week that like were actually interesting football games, right? And as we get into our playoff picture, our playoff bracket, these are games that you're going to be looking back on and being like, okay, so like maybe if the 49ers do match up with the Seattle Seahawks in the playoffs, we kind of know what that's going to look like because that division has been so strong so far.
Yeah, but I think that this was also the perfect week 18 because you had the balance of teams that really needed to win, so it wasn't a complete throwaway week. Like I still had an excuse to sit on my couch and watch football all day. Right. But I also love, it's just like the last day of the season in the NBA. I love watching all the random third and fourth stringers get their shot in the NFL and see if they can really do something with it. And we did get a bit of that too.
This is the NBA's March. And it's just that when you see Riley Leonard make a fourth quarter or attempt to make a fourth quarter comeback, dude, there was something going in my veins. I was fired up.
On paper, that should never be happening in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if Riley Leonard will ever start an NFL game again, right? Like, so like that's a pretty cool concept there. But if we are going to move into our playoff bracket, the first game that you have to talk about just for major playoff implications was obviously that Steelers-Ravens game on Sunday night. This game was incredibly boring for 3 quarters. Incredibly boring for 3 quarters. And then Jack turns the game off and it becomes unbelievable in the 4th quarter. Unbelievable. The end of this game has so many implications for both these teams. Obviously, the Steelers get the win. Chris Boswell missed his first extra point in 4 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, that extra point would have iced the game. And then Tyler Loop says, I got you, man, for the brand. I'm going to be the kicker that everybody hates tonight. And bricks a 44-yard field goal the exact same way. It just slices out to the right. What an amazing game. And
I saw something pretty crazy about the kick.
Okay.
I saw that the Steelers had a guy throwing holy water, a priest. They brought a priest into the stadium, and he was throwing holy water on the field to bless them for the game. And where he was throwing the water was exactly where the missed field goal landed.
That's crazy.
Insane. That's insane.
I mean, if that doesn't make you a believer, I don't know what does.
Are you a believer, George?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I have my Jewish faith.
Yeah, it was revenge for Ray Lewis killing a person with his car and, you know, going on to win a Super Bowl.
Similar thing happened to the Ravens like maybe 15 years ago now. Again, they were playing the Patriots, I want to say, and they missed a field goal. And then that guy never kicked a field goal again in the NFL and made way for Justin Tucker.
Yep.
I saw people online saying they need to get Tyler Loop in a massage parlor.
I saw that too. I was going to say it, but I didn't want to go there. I mean,
that poor guy, man.
I feel for him because as a rookie kicker, he's had a good season.
Feel for him. Yeah, he had a great season. Yeah.
It's hard to fill in the shoes of the
arguably the greatest kicker.
And also with all that noise of what he was guilty of, pretty tough situation to get into.
Yeah.
And with what he meant to Baltimore, I mean, Baltimore, he was the one piece that was there from 2012 to now.
Right.
That it's him and Harbaugh. Those are the 2 pillars.
Right.
And it's just that's it. as much I feel for Baltimore right now because this is like 4 straight years of heartbreak. I mean, I don't know. My girlfriend's family, they're all Ravens fans, and I don't like. I'm talking with them. They have no idea which way to go. Her dad was sitting outside in the rocking chair till 2 a.m, listening to music, just like contemplating life. I wish I had the video on my phone. It was so funny.
Yeah,
Shout out
actually,
Mr.
that's
Kovalevsky.
sick.
I mean,
that's pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I feel like the Ravens, it took them so obviously the injuries this season, but it took them so long to get into that group. I mean, they finally last 3 games, they gave Derrick Henry 20 plus carries. And look what this does for their offense. It changes everything. Lamar threw 18 total passes, 236 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 11 for 18. It was a big play offense, and you can see how which direction they're going. The thing that's the biggest contradiction is why do you pay Mark Andrews 3 years, $39 million and give him 3 targets?
Yeah.
Why do you pay Isaiah Likely and don't give him? I think they literally targeted him.
Likely's pissed too. He looks like he's wanting to leave this year,
dude. If I was him,
he made the play of the game last night or 2 nights ago. Yeah, like he caught the ball to put them to basically spot them up to win the game. Right, like if you did enough, I don't even think. I mean, people were criticizing Harbaugh's decision not to go for it on the 3rd down to take the knee instead of trying to get a few more yards. Yeah, I disagree. I think you're expecting your kicker to hit a 44-yard field goal,
especially
in
today's day and age
ball.
Kicking. I mean, a 44-yarder is a chip shot in this league right now. But I feel obviously like there's big conditions going on. It's not like you're kicking in a dome. I think if he's kicking in a dome, it probably goes in. But it was so obvious that thing was pushed by the wind right. So
I don't know if this is me playing devil's advocate or not, but I think why not hand it off to Derrick Henry and see if he can make it a 5-yard easier field goal? It's a rookie kicker. Literally, the season is on the line. Are you going to the playoffs or are you not? Are you winning the division or are you not? Season-defining kick. I don't see why you don't make it a couple yards easier.
Well, I just think that like
especially when you have the timeouts.
If you're living in hypothetical land though too, and Derrick Henry fumbles the football,
that's actually a fair
you know what I mean? Like
that's been a problem for them all season.
True.
So I think that that was probably the right decision. I think you expect that your kicker goes out and makes a kick, and he knew off his foot. He said it afterwards. Tyler was like, that kick it didn't feel right off the foot, and I knew I missed it.
Did we get a little Ace Ventura laces out? Was it a good hold? Was it a good snap, good hold?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was a good snap, good hold. Yeah,
I mean,
but if you're a Ravens fan, thanks, man. If you're a Ravens fan, you're obviously upset at this game. Who are you upset at? Are you upset at your kicker for missing a field goal, your rookie kicker? Or are you upset at your defense for giving up a touchdown with a minute in the game? Are you upset at your offense for not being able to score for 3 quarters, right? Are you upset at Harbaugh for not having a well-coached team all season? Who is it that you're upset at leaving this year?
I think it's a combination of literally everything you just said. I don't put the blame on Luke. They had 4 quarters to get this done.
Correct.
Obviously, that is a kick you have to make, but that shouldn't be all on him. The loss is not all on him.
You were also given a second life. They were going to go to overtime if Chris Boswell made a field goal. Right?
Exactly.
So
how many times do other position players, they have to do their job and don't do it as well? He just does it once, and you can't put all the blame on him. I think also it's unfortunate that Kyle Hamilton went down with a concussion because he completely changes your defense when he's on the field with his versatility.
I think the biggest thing with the Ravens is that they've lost their identity. They are a clean, no turnover football team that also won every single time on both sides of the football in the trenches. Their offensive line is horrendous. The guy next to Stanley also didn't play a great game. I always forget his name.
Tyler
the guy
Linderbaum?
Next to Stanley. Say again?
Tyler Linderbaum?
No, I think he's the center, right?
He's the center.
He's fine. It's the right guard, I think, or the left guard. He's awful. I mean, literally every single game is 10-yard holding penalty at least. If I'm the Ravens, there's such a big gap between your best players and the rest of your starters, and you just can't win football games like that while turning over the football so many times. Zay Flowers this season had 4 or 5 fumbles. Henry had 4 or 5 fumbles. Lamar was injured for most of the season. There was no pressure on Rodgers. Rodgers completed 31 passes.
I was going to say.
Unreal. That was a legacy game at 41 years old. I know he's had an incredible career, but I mean, if that doesn't cement to you that Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks ever, I don't know what does. I mean, the Steelers have had all season a horrendous offense. Their offense is fine, but they don't have DK Metcalf. Their offense is horrendous. They literally lost to the Browns. And I know the Browns have a great defense. If you're Baltimore, even if you win this game, you still have the same problems. And I don't know if one off season can fix it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the lack of a pass rush, which is something that Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico were pointing out for the entirety of that Sunday Night Football game, was really what bit them in the ass. I mean, it did look like Aaron Rodgers turned the clock back in that game, but like he had so much time to throw. Right. And like you said, they're missing DK Metcalf, who was obviously their number one target. It didn't matter. Pat Freiermuth was making big catches down the field and like dicing this defense up. And the fact of the matter is that if you can't get pressure on the quarterback, which they haven't been able to do all season, this defense came into the year as like, highly touted, like they were supposed to be like a top 5 defense. They battled some injuries, they battled some issues, but like that defensive line has been so disappointing in my opinion. And again, like you said, I think that like the lack of a pass rush is the thing that really sunk them in the later stages of the season when they were starting to turn it around. And like, let's not call, it like it is. Like there are games earlier in the season that they should have won that they lost, which is why they were in this position in the first place, right? The Steelers should have beat the Browns and just completely ended this divisional game as it was, right? They should have won the division as it was. And the Ravens were given a second life by the fact that Mike Tomlin wants to go, 9-8 instead of 7.
But let's talk about some positives for the Steelers. Going back to your point about the defensive line pressure. Although the Ravens got no pressure on the Steelers offensive line did a great job giving Aaron Rodgers time to make decisions and not force him into uncomfortable situations out of the pocket where he has to dump down in these short yardage situations. After Kyle Hamilton went down, their offensive line gave him a chance to call plays that changed the game. That big completion to Freiermuth, the touchdown to Calvin Austin. It looked like he was playing offensive coordinator, and he had the freedom to do so at 41 years old, practically immobile, because they were not able to generate pressure. So it was bad for the Ravens, but also got to give your flowers to the Steelers. That was the piece that made the difference and allowed Aaron Rodgers to have that legacy game that you're talking about.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree with that. I mean, look, you're going to see the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs this year. They obviously have to play the scorching hot Houston Texans. We'll get into our playoff brackets a little bit later. But is this the most Mike Tomlin season potentially ever, especially if they lose in the first round of the playoffs? This team is above average as per usual. They won't have a good draft pick. They're in the playoffs. They're sitting around 500. And normally what happens is they go into the playoffs in the first round and they get absolutely steamrolled. Do we think that's going to happen? And if that happens, is Mike Tomlin's job in trouble? I think he probably saved it by beating the Ravens last week, but I think that if they didn't beat the Ravens, he's probably out of Pittsburgh.
I don't know if I think they have, they've had, how long has he been there? 19 years now?
Yeah, a long time.
Long time. He's the longest tenured coach in the NFL. At a certain point in time, when you haven't won since 08, 09, something like that? 09? Santonio Holmes, shout out. You have to change the culture. As great as he's been, he will get hired by someone else. This is no negative on Tomlin. This is more, they need a change. They need a reset. They need a franchise quarterback. They need to rebuild the defensive line. They need to rebuild the defense, frankly. It's the oldest defensive unit in the NFL. I think if they lose this game, I agree with you, Alex. I think he's out of a job. But this saves his job, but does it change the Steelers' trajectory? No. It's the same thing that they've seen for the last 10 years.
Absolutely agree. And now they have a 41-year-old quarterback. They're not building on anything. He's a prideful guy. I think his big thing that he wanted to do this year was go into the playoffs and at least not go out on the tail end of an Achilles injury. And I think that he's done
Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers. So I think that this is the most Mike Tomlin season of all time because 9-8 and 10-7 look very, very different. And 9-8, you're probably having conversations about firing him. 10-7, you make the playoffs. That pass rush for Houston is going to be the difference maker in this game this week, in my opinion. I think everyone's opinion. He's not going to have the same time and freedom that he did against the Ravens. He's going to be pressured all week. I think the Texans are going to steamroll the Steelers. And then I think it will be the most Mike Tomlin season ever. You win just enough games to keep your job, and then you get steamrolled in a game on Monday night that people probably won't even be watching. I mean, people are going to be watching because it's playoff football, but they're not. They're only watching it because it's playoff football. Yeah. That just feels like a Week 8 Monday Night Football game that I'm doing homework during.
Yeah, amazingly, a team that we were completely out on at the beginning of the season, the Houston Texans, is probably the boogeyman of the AFC right now. The New England Patriots are the 2 seed. They sit with the draw after the Broncos secured the bye here, and the 3 wildcard teams are obviously the Bills, the Texans, or the Bills and the Chargers. Or the Texans won their division? Am I making that up?
No, Texans lost the
They are a wild card. Yeah. Okay, so the 3 wildcard teams are the Bills, the Texans, and the Chargers. And for our New England Patriots, it feels like we lucked out because I want nothing to do with the Bills and I want nothing to do with the Texans. This Texans team is winning. I think they won 10 straight games to end the season here.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, has played good enough football as a game manager to get them back into the position that they were in. And then this defensive line, like you mentioned, Jack, has just been unbelievable this season. They should have 2 Pro Bowlers. I don't remember exactly who.
It's probably Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter.
It should be both of them, but I don't know if they got it or not. But that being said, like this offensive line for the Steelers is going to have their work cut out for them playing this Texans team. And from a Patriots fan perspective, I'm super happy that we get to play the Chargers at home.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that those 2 teams are good enough to have won their division. The Jaguars got hot thanks to Liam Cohen down the stretch, right?
Yep.
But they're a team that I would rather see over the Texans right now. And I'm shocked that the Texans didn't come back and win that division. But you're seeing one of those 2 in the next round of the playoffs, most likely if you get there. But before you even get there, the Chargers, frankly, limped their way into the playoffs. Justin Herbert is injured with that wrist right now. He does not look healthy. And even with all that being said, their defense hasn't been particularly impressive either. So I think you're right, Alex. Out of those 3 teams, the Chargers were the one that you wanted to get, especially at home. Patriots are battling this narrative of the schedule all year. They've come out, they've proved it against some teams, but they have disappointed at times as well. I think Vrabel's going to have these guys fired up, and he's a good coach. He's going to really lean into that narrative of now's your time to go prove it. Get to the next round. And let's be honest, Patriots are playing with house money right now. We're the 2 seed. We have already overachieved to beyond at least my beliefs going into the year. So if you can get through this game, you're probably going to have to see either the Bills or the Texans. But I'm just happy to not have them this week.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Jim Harbaugh is a fantastic coach, and he has been with the Chargers team that has been banged up for 2 years. They've kind of limped in the playoffs both times they've been there. And I don't know necessarily if they have the most fantastic weapons, just as it is. Their defense is always in question, even though, they used to have Khalil Mack, who, is past his prime now, but was still one of the premier pass rushers of the 2010s and 2020s, I guess. But look, I think that if you're a Patriots fan, you are happy with the draw here, especially the fact that you're taking a team who plays in California primarily and you're bringing them to New England. That's a tough place to play for anyone, especially during the colder seasons.
I'll be honest. I'm here right now. It was 3 degrees last night. It was cold as hell. It's cold in New England. Also, correct me if I'm wrong here. Justin Herbert has never won a playoff game before.
He's never won a playoff game before. That's true. I think that he's been to 3 or 4 at this point. At least one under Brendan Staley, and then the one last year they lost, and then this year they're playing again. Let's just talk about this AFC then, as it is. Go ahead, George.
I think one thing on the Chargers, Alex, you hit it on the tooth and nail. Not having Alt and not having I always forget the other guy's name, the other tackle.
He went down to the horrible injury
at the beginning of the season. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The game against the Texans, I think the week before, was eye-opening for me because I was still high on the Chargers. I thought if the defense could hold it together, offense, Herbert's having an unbelievable season. He'll be 3rd in MVP in my opinion, for me at least. He has dragged them tooth and nail. Best season in my opinion he's ever played. I thought if they could put it together, they could make it happen. I don't think they stand a chance against the Patriots. Looking across the rest of the AFC, I think another interesting matchup that we're going to see in the first round is Bills-Jags. Bills have kind of, no offense to my buddy Luke, they've kind of wobbled in This isn't like they got that statement win against New England. They kind of hold it close with they held it close with the Bengals. They beat the crap out of Miami and the Jets, but then they lose to the Eagles in a game in which they should have won. And the Jags are coming in off of 8 straight wins.
Yep.
Only like second best to the 9 straight wins from the Texans. We know, everyone knows we're not huge Trevor Lawrence guys on this podcast. However, it's undeniable what he is doing.
We just think he's fine. He's just not worth talking about.
I think he's changed that narrative this season. I think this is the best football he's ever played in his life. I think the addition of Jacoby Myers might be one of the best midseason trades ever. I mean, the whole offense as a whole looks rejuvenated. Liam Cohen is a freaking mastermind. Another great first-year head coach. The defense is solid. I mean,
Trevor Lawrence has pros now.
Dude, I know.
That's pretty cool.
And the flow, it's like
that's pretty cool.
When he smiles, man, and he's got that flow, and there's just a little bit of the wind. I think it was in the post-game interview after the Broncos game. He just looked so majestic, bro. He looked like a Pegasus. And if I'm Buffalo, I'm terrified. I'm terrified, frankly, going in, like, of all the matchups I could get from the first round. I would much rather play at New England. I would much rather play at the Steelers than play in Jacksonville. And when is the last time we could say that?
Yeah.
I think the only thing that would separate them is if you are going into New England or Pittsburgh, you know that atmosphere is going to legitimately play on their side.
But they've done that.
I have never watched a game in Jacksonville, in Duval, where I've been like, they have a 12th man in the stadium with them.
Yeah.
Never once.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I think that this also is a big game if you have questions about Jacksonville just as it is, right? Like, obviously the 2 teams over 500 that they beat during that tear that they went on at the end of the season were the Broncos, which was a really statement win for them, and the Chargers, which was another really statement win for them. But then you got to look at the schedule here. They played the Cardinals close, right? They beat the Titans twice. They got the Titans twice. They got the Colts twice. They beat they beat the Jets. Like, some of these games aren't super convincing. But I think you're right, though. I think that this team is a bit of a daunting opponent to have in the first year. Travis Etienne had a really good season this year. So if I am a Bills fan, I think you're right. I think that you know what you're walking into if you're playing New England, right? You played them twice at this point. You know how to beat that team. You know what you would do if you were to lose to that team. Like, you know what that's going to look like. You've been down 21 points to Drake May, and you're playing a guy who's playing for his first time in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence has won playoff games before, right? With Doug Peterson at the helm. So, like, it's not like he's super inexperienced. And this Texans team, again, you said the Steelers. I think you'd rather play the Steelers than both the Jags or the Patriots. But that aside, like, I think that is a really interesting game because I think it's going to tell you a lot about 2 teams that we don't really know that much about. And the thing about the NFL playoffs this year is we don't really know that much about any of the teams that are playing.
Absolutely.
Right? There has been so much parity across the league this year that, like, it's been incredibly hard to pick a favorite to win the NFL. I think both the best teams in the AFC and the NFC, the Broncos and the Seahawks, are not the best teams in their divisions, right? Like that, or not in the AFC or the NFC. Like, I can't see them the Super Bowl.
I absolutely think I think the point that you made about you don't know really what you're walking into for any of these teams, especially comparing it to years past. But you especially don't know that about the Jaguars, right? The Bills, if they play the Patriots, know what they're getting. They're getting a team that they've faced twice. But the Jaguars are a huge wild card right now, and I think that could play to their advantage. I think it could leave the Bills under-preparing for that game, and they could really come out and make a statement early against the Bills. It feels like the Bills are depending on second-half efficiency out of their quarterback and their running back to win every single game. And if they don't get that, they are very vulnerable, especially going into this playoffs. And I think the Jaguars, if they can hold off that second half frenzy, have a legitimate chance to win this game.
I think I just thought of like a good thought exercise. So imagine this playoff series, but you swap one player, a player Buffalo could have traded for. They could have traded for Jacoby Myers, and I think that would have made a load of difference going into this like whole playoff run as a whole because they don't really have a true number one right now. And that's what's scaring me is that like Josh Allen is relying on one of the best running backs in the NFL, which I think Cook can get it done. Cooks, two great tight ends, but no premier receiving weapon. As much as I like Shakir, I mean he's in my opinion a wide receiver 2, playing as a wide receiver 1 and getting it done somewhat. But I mean it's going to be a lot different once you come playoff time because Keon Coleman has had quite an underwhelming second season. I mean, they wish they had Diggs back or the
season.
He's disastrous. Yeah, no, they gave him like 3 DNPs.
Yeah,
which is crazy. I put the Bills for me get coming out of the AFC, but that's not out of confidence in the Bills. That is out of like fear in the other teams. I don't think the other teams have the experience and frankly the quarterback play to get it done. I don't trust Bo Nix. As much as I've liked Trevor Lawrence the last 8 weeks, I still don't know if I can trust him. Herbert doesn't have anyone to help him, and I like Josh Allen more as a quarterback. I mean, I'm not even counting the Steelers, no offense to any Steelers fans out there listening. I love Drake May, but I don't know if this is the Patriots' year.
Yep.
It's a hard run. And then the Texans, if they had an offensive line, frankly, I would probably pick them. But they don't. And I don't know if like Stroud is going to be able to game manage them to a win.
And the question that we've asked numerous times over the past many years is, can a mediocre quarterback lead a team to not even mediocre, but just like a game elite quarterback,
can a solid
quarterback to a Super Bowl? And the answers that we've been given is no. So as much as the questions that you have about their wide receiver room, it's the same things that we've been asking of the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes ever since Tyreek Hill left. But he proved that elite quarterback play is what can ultimately get the job done. So if you're asking me about the Bills, I still think that they are one of those favorites, even though they have the number 6 next to their name. I just think seeding, with the exception of home field advantage, means absolutely nothing in this playoffs.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
I would agree with that. All right, let's run through the AFC, though. Obviously, the Broncos have the bye going into the first week. Like George said earlier, we have filled out our own personal brackets. We'll be keeping up with those as the NFL playoffs goes on. But the first matchup coming to us on January 12th is, I guess this is the last one. It's the Monday night game. But we have Steelers versus Texans, the 4 versus the 5 seed. Jack, who wins this game?
I think the Texans win this game. The spread is 3 right now, which feels offensively low, but I guess the Texans are going on the road. They like to keep games close. The Colts put up 30 points last week against them. I don't think the Steelers can do that. I think that 21 points wins this game. I think the Texans will be able to do that, if not less, to be honest with you. I think 17 points probably wins this game.
I completely agree with you, Jack. I think the matchup to watch in this game is Stingley versus Metcalf. And as good as the Steelers' offensive line was last game, they haven't been superb all season. This is the best defensive team since 2009 statistically. I'm taking the Texans, easy money, 21 points. I agree, Jack wins this game.
Yeah, I'm going to triple up with you guys. I think that the Texans get this one done. I would not, I didn't see enough from the Steelers last weekend, or if anything at all, to say that this team is inspiring confidence in me going into the playoffs. And I just think this Texans team is getting hot at the right time. And sometimes it's the most important thing when it comes to the NFL. All right, let's move on and talk about Jaguars Bills. This is probably the game that I will be watching with the most interest in. Jags, obviously the 3 seed, the Bills, the 6 seed. So it'll be the Bills at Jacksonville. This is going to tell us a lot about how these playoffs are going to shake out. Talk to me about who's going to win this game, George.
I think I know the score of this game. I think it's going to be 35-31. Bills beat the Jags. I'm just going to be honest. Jacksonville got a bad draw here. This is the one wild card team that I think they have the least chance against. I think the Bills have one guy whose name is Josh Allen that can win any football game for any team. I mean, he is just he's that simply superhuman. And I don't know if the Jaguars have an answer for him. The only thing I would watch out for in this game is if the Bills can keep up with the Jags offense, which has been much improved over the second half of the season. But I trust in the Bills.
Yeah, I think the Bills' defense is what's really going to make a difference here. If they can generate any stops, it's going to give Josh Allen a chance. We've never seen the modern Bills go into the playoffs and have a disappointing year. Ever since they've been this construct with Josh Allen at quarterback, they have always gotten through at least one game dominantly and then run into a force in either the Chiefs or the Ravens, right? I think that the Bills find a way to get this done, but I'm confident that it'll be a good game for sure. As much as I want to take the Jaguars, my gut is just telling me Josh Allen can beat them and get this done.
Yeah, we're making the same picks here. I think we're going to go 3 for 3 on the same picks to start this bracket off. I'm also going to take the Bills here. I think that this is one of those years where you're going to look back on Josh Allen's legacy and be like, what did he accomplish? In an AFC that did not have Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, or Joe Burrow in it to get to the Super Bowl, what are we going to see from him? I think that this is a very big game for both him and for Trevor Lawrence, but at the same time, I think that this Bills team will go into Jacksonville and get this game done. Moving on to the final game here, we have Patriots versus Chargers. Jack, tell me why the Patriots are going to win this game.
The Patriots are going to win this game because they're battling the narrative, right? This week is a chance to finally prove to the entire league why you belong in the playoffs. And let's be honest, we rattled off 10 wins in a row earlier this year. Everyone's asking us questions. None of it matters until you get in the playoffs. And it's like you're starting at week 0. It's like you're going out week 1, completely blank slate. None of the regular season means anything. It begins now. Vrabel's a good coach. He's going to have these guys ready to go. You've got Will Campbell back. You've got Milton Williams back. You're starting to put together this core group of guys. They're going to go out and beat the Chargers and silence that narrative for another week.
Al, you go next. You're the Patriots fan too.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Jack here. I think that this Chargers team just isn't as strong as the Patriots are. I haven't seen enough from them to really think that they could dethrone the Patriots. I think like I've said before on the pod, this is the easiest draw that the Patriots could have gotten in the first round. So I don't know if those narratives are going to be silenced just yet. But Drake May has played like an MVP candidate and an MVP frontrunner for the most of this season. They're going to play a team that's banged up, like you said. And I just think that this is a game where the Patriots just take control early and continue to have control for the foreseeable future.
I mean, I agree. I think the Patriots are going to beat the Chargers. As much as I like the Chargers formula, it's the injuries just got them this year. And this is the second year in a row of that happening. My one thing to watch out for in the Patriots, not this game, but just the whole playoffs, is if the defense can match up to what they've been during the regular season. You've played a lot of easier teams. People will talk about the strength of schedule being the worst since it's like late 1990s. I agree with both of you. None of that matters comes playoff time. What comes playoff time is what you bring during these 3 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. And I think the Patriots will get it done this week.
Okay. Now let's move on to the divisional round in the AFC. We're going to run through the AFC before we move over to the NFC.
Or should we wait until next week to do that?
Do you want to, or you want to? I think we just put all our picks on the table now so that we can look back at them and be like, man, we had no idea what we were talking about. Here we go. We're going to talk about our predictions for the divisional round here. We have Broncos versus Bills as our second round game here. Obviously, the Broncos would be going to or the Bills will be going to Denver to play this game, the 6 seed versus the 1 seed coming off of a bye here. What do we think about the Broncos versus the Bills?
You know, the thing about the Bills this season is that they're the best second half offense. They're the best second half team in football, best second half point differential since 2000. I think I saw that online. The Broncos are the best fourth quarter team because Bo Nix somehow puts it together. But I think this is where it catches up to them. You cannot just start turning it on in the fourth quarter, especially against Buffalo. When given the chance, they will run this team. As much as I respect and like the Denver defense, and I like Sean Payton. Sean Payton to me is a great coach. I don't think the offense is enough to get past Buffalo. I think Buffalo will put up at least 24 points. I do not think the Broncos will be able to put up 20. That might be a little bit of a hot take, but I'm taking Buffalo in this game.
I think this game is a huge upset watch. Upset watch. I'm sorry. I was thinking that the Broncos would beat I think that this game has a huge potential for the Broncos to beat the Buffalo Bills. Disagreeing with what you said. because the Broncos defense is good enough to play 4 quarters of really strong football. And if the Buffalo Bills have to depend until the fourth quarter or the second half, the Broncos at that point only need 2 or 3 stops in one half and they win a football game. And I think that they are capable of doing that. But you are right. The Broncos can't wait until the fourth quarter. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just picking based off name here. I think the Bills are going to win because I think the Bills win football games in the playoffs. But I see a huge potential for the Broncos to knock out the Bills in this game because they just match up well in terms of play style. And I could really see it happening.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that I'm just afraid to say that Josh Allen's going to lose to Bo Nix in this game, which is why I'm taking the Bills here. But this is a really daunting game for them. We've seen it before, especially with that Eagles game, that happened 2 weeks ago. Like, if the Broncos can muddy up this football game, just make it completely ugly, an absolute dogfight defensively, I think that they will hold stronger than Buffalo will. If it's a prettier game where Josh Allen's getting to his reads, making his throws, and able to run and dice up this defense, it's going to be a long day for the Denver Broncos. It's because of that I think that I'm going to take the Bills, even though I'm tentatively doing so. But I also think that we've overlooked the Broncos on this show all year. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and just play really good football. But at the same time, like, this is Bo Nix first, or no, I think they played in the playoffs last year. Were they in the playoffs last year?
They were in the playoffs last year.
So this will be his second playoff game. I just don't think he's anything more than a game manager quarterback, right? Like, I think that there are 10 quarterbacks, probably maybe even 15 quarterbacks better than Bo Nix in the NFL.
Yeah.
But if he goes out and wins against the Bills, I think that narrative changes.
100%, right? So this is another one of those games where, I mean, you're going to hear us say, like, this is another one of those games, like,
all of these games.
They all
crazy.
Which is super cool, but I'm also going to take the Bills here. Let's move on to Patriots versus Texans here. Jack, tell me why you think the Patriots are going to win this game.
I think the Patriots are going to win this game because their offense, while their offense is very high-powered, the Texans' defense is high-powered. The Patriots' defense is also very solid, and they are capable of holding the Broncos to 14, 17 points. Or I'm sorry, holding the Texans to 14, 17 points. The Patriots will put up 20, 24 points against this Texans defense. I can almost guarantee it. That should be enough to win them this football game, in my opinion. And I think that they'll be able to do that at home. I think it's been 6 years since Gillette had a home playoff game. A lot of people out there are forgetting just how intense Gillette Stadium gets in a playoff atmosphere.
Yep.
That is a Patriots 12th man. You could make an argument that it is the best environment in the playoffs this year. And that will play wildly into their factor if they get there. And that is why I think the Patriots will beat the Texans.
Okay.
Jack, I mean, Al, you go up next. I'll want the two Patriots fans first.
I'm with you. I think that the Patriots get it done here. I think you're right. I think the take is that the Patriots in particular have enough offensive firepower to overcome the Texans defense, and the Texans offense just hasn't been strong enough. While this Patriots defense has not been battle tested so far, I mean, Christian Gonzalez is a premier corner in the NFL. He's shown that time and time again. And one of the things that was so strong about this defense, even with Jerod Mayo, or this Patriots team with Jerod Mayo, was the defensive prowess that they have. Have they been able to show it all season so far? No. But I do think that they will be able to do that in this playoffs. I think that this is a Drake May coming out game where, if you were looking at the Chargers and being like, oh, well, maybe they aren't the team that we thought they were. Maybe the Patriots are, still a little bit fraudulent. This is the game that you can affirmatively stamp the Patriots being a solid contender for years to come. I'm going to take them to beat the Texans here.
And let's just talk about some matchups real quick. I mean, the more you think about the guys who are lining up against each other, the more you can talk yourself into the Patriots winning, right? The Texans offense is the Patriots did not allow a 50-yard rusher for the first 10 games of the season. That is so many. The Texans do not have a ton of targets that they can kill you with, and Christian Gonzalez is 6'2". He can match up with Nico Collins pretty well. That takes their offense I mean, I feel like I'm talking myself into a win here, but I mean, that you're putting a lot of guys in positions where they have to make plays for the Texans to win. Now, if you talk about the Patriots offensively, you got Will Campbell lining up against Will Anderson. They've played each other 4 or 5 times in college. It's not going to be their first time going against each other. You've also got Morgan Moses on the right side, who's a tried and true veteran of this league. And you've got Garrett Bradbury in the center. Those are 3 legitimate offensive linemen that the Patriots were kind of surprised that have developed to this point thus far in the season. So, also, like, Derek Stingley's a great cornerback, but one thing that's made this Patriots team so good is we don't have a number one receiver that we're going to try and pump the ball to. If we're going to beat you, we're going to beat you with DeMario Douglas, Austin Hooper, Collins, and all these different random guys that you probably don't even have in your game plan. So I think that the Patriots' versatility there does give them the upper hand.
See, I hate doing this, guys. I hate changing it up. Well, I want to talk through my logic for picking the Texans. I look at this and
you're a Texas boy. We get it.
Yeah. I know.
You're pretty much a Texans fan. That's what I heard. You're pretty much a Texans fan.
I mean, there aren't many out
George,
there.
How many more Cowboy seasons can you endure before you start becoming a Texans fan?
Ooh, I think I got 5. I got 5 without multiple playoff wins, or at least making the conference final.
Wow, dude, you better buy your gear now. You better buy your CJ Stroud.
I heard Will Anderson jerseys are going for cheap on NFLShop.com. So,
dude, I saw like a half Will Anderson, half Daniil Hunter jersey on Temu the other day, and I was so close to spending the $5 to get it. But, God. The reason I'm going to choose the Texans is I look at this and I look at 4 sides. I look at the Patriots offense, Patriots defense, Houston's offense, Houston's defense. And I know this is a silly way to break it down, but when a game is of such small margins, to me, I go with the best side. And I think the Texans defense has the opportunity to slow the Patriots offense down. I think you'll have premier talent in a couple positions on defense. This is going to be a true trenches battle. I think the reason the Texans will edge this one out, nothing more than 1 score. And when I say 1 score, it's under 3 for me. I do believe the Gillette impact. I didn't factor that in at first because we haven't had a legitimate playoff series in New England since 2019.
Since Brady.
The Texans are hot, man.
It's another indoor team. It's another indoor team having to go play in the cold, though.
I know, but you know
when was the last time the Texans won a cold weather game? That's you got to ask the question.
They beat Bills. They did beat the Bills.
Was it cold weather?
Let me see if it was in Buffalo. I'll pull that up. But my point,
it was in Houston. It was Thursday night.
Oh yeah, you're right. The reason I am taking the Texans is something I saw in the Patriots versus Bills last matchup, which is a blazing hot start against a bad defense, and then they kind of clammed up. I have full faith in Drake May. I have full faith in Mike Vrabel. I doubt some of the weapons. I like Stephon Diggs. I like Mac Hollins. I like the tight ends. I like the way Travion Henderson has blossomed. I like the offensive line. I love the Houston defense. And I think Houston will be able to minimize the offense to a slower start, and it's going to be hard to get going. No matter the weather, no matter the 12th guy, I see a 17-14 Houston win with a brutal performance from CJ Stroud because I don't have much faith in him, but I think the best playmaker in this game is on Houston's side. Nico Collins has been unreal the last 3 NFL seasons, and he's ready for a big playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have just as much reason to say all of that as we do to talk about the Patriots. And you're right. Like, Houston could make the Patriots' run game get off to a slow start. And that's something that is a huge factor in our offense. I mean, at this point, you could argue that Travion and Ramondre are up there with the best 1-2 punch backs in the league, if not like top 3. They're up there. So I think that there's definitely a reality in which that happens. I think the conditions would definitely play a factor, and I think that the fan base will play a factor, but you're right. This Texans defense has the opportunity to make a statement against the Patriots, of which no one has done all year.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got two guys back in the Patriots and one guy back in the Houston Texans here, which means that this next part of the bracket is going to be a little bit more confusing. Jack and I will both be picking between the Patriots and the Bills, and George will be picking between the Bills and the Texans to win the AFC here. George, who do you think is going to win between the Bills and the Texans?
We saw this matchup in Houston already. Houston won on a nail biter. Josh Allen did not play a great football game. Josh Allen doesn't fuck up twice, excuse my language. I think the Bills will win. I think the difference between the Bills beating the Texans and the Texans beating the Patriots is I love Drake May, and this is in no slight against him. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. Simply put. He can do stuff on a football field. He can beat a defense that, in my opinion, is borderline unbeatable. And he can do it in the AFC Championship. And I think this is the time that Buffalo breaks their last 5 seasons curse and they go to the Super Bowl. I think Buffalo is flawed, but Houston is more flawed. And I know that's a little bit of a contradiction to what I just said against New England, but I think Buffalo's going to get it done. I think Buffalo has the playmaker to do it.
Okay, so you have Buffalo coming out of the AFC.
Yes.
Sounds good. JB, talk to me. Patriots, Bills, round 3. What are you thinking?
I think that if the Patriots get through 2 divisional games and they make it to the AFC Championship, they're going to have the confidence behind them that they are a proven good team. They've beaten the Bills once already. The second time they played, the Bills got them in the most heartbreaking fashion at home against their own home fans. If you don't think that they are going to have motivation to go out there and make sure that that doesn't happen again in the playoffs, you are poorly mistaken. Vrabel's going to have these guys ready to go. This is the first time in years that I've been confident to say our coaching is going to play a legitimate factor in the playoffs, and all of these guys want to play for him and do it for him and each other. Now, I know it's a huge if, but if the Patriots get to the conference championship and they have an AFC championship game at home against their division rivals, I don't see a way in which those guys aren't ready to go out there and prove the entire league wrong. I think that the Patriots, if given a third shot against the Bills, would beat them at home.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. And I made a switch-up pick 10 minutes ago. I was like, you know what? I can't do it. I am a homer. I am a Patriots fan. I think the Patriots will beat the Bills if they play them a third time. I'm going to take the Patriots to win the AFC.
Alex, I just got a full fucking adrenaline rush. Pardon my language right now. I thought I watched you pick the Bills, and I thought you were going to say Bills, and the second you said Patriots, I went like...
So those are our picks to come out of the AFC. George has the Buffalo Bills, and Jack and I have the New England Patriots. What's new? For the NFC, though, because, these games are almost as interesting. Obviously, you have 3 teams from one division that are probably the best. It's the best division in football. Let's call it like it is.
Oh, yeah.
Right. In the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers, I don't know who to pick between these 3 teams when it comes to, picking out of the NFC West. Obviously, the Seahawks were the team that ended with the best record at 14-3, but they played a really unconvincing game against the Rams that went to overtime. There's so much stuff that's going on in that division just as it is. But let's run through this bracket. Obviously, the Seahawks are going to get the bye here. You have the Panthers versus the Rams in the first round. This one feels like a clear one to me. I don't even know how the Panthers are in the dance to begin with, aside from the fact that they just turned up at the end of the season and the Buccaneers completely disappeared. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think that we're all just going to say that the Rams are a better football team.
They're a better football team, but they played earlier in the year. The Panthers won, Alex.
And, I'm going to give complete credit to that for another great coach. Dave Canales has done such a great job with this offense. And I'm really looking forward to them in the next season. But the Rams are going to beat. This is a game where they have to go out. They've had a rough end of the season. They've got to go out and they've got to end it on a good note. Because when they lost to the Panthers, that's when we saw the first crack, which was turnovers. Yep. And I think the Rams are going to go in there and play a very clean game of football.
I think the Rams are going to beat the brakes off the Panthers.
I think it might be check me on this 44-10.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
That's a lot of scoring.
I think it might be. I think it might be belt too.
Yeah, I think you guys are both in the correct line of thinking here. I think that the Rams are going to decimate the Panthers in the first round. If they don't,
but it would be so 2025 NFL for the Rams.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But I just don't see a reality where the Rams lose this football game. So I'm going to take the Rams over the Panthers here. It sounds like you guys are with me there. Let's move on to game number 2.
Are the Panthers the first team in NFL history to make the playoffs 2 times in a row with losing records? Last 2 times they've been in the playoffs, they've had losing records.
That's something that we should definitely look up.
Fact checkable, but probably true. Probably true. While you fact check that for us, let's move on to Eagles versus 49ers. Look, I've made the joke all season long that I think the Philadelphia Eagles are somehow going to win the Super Bowl because it would be the least climactic way for that to possibly happen.
By the way, they're the only team to make the playoffs twice with. Oh no, I'm sorry. Only team in NFL history to make the NFL playoffs twice with a losing record.
That's incredible. That's an incredible stat that you just pulled up.
Holy crap.
Back to my Eagles spiel though. I've been joking all year about this team like winning the Super Bowl somehow, even though they played anticlimactic football all year and Jalen Hurts has looked like a shell of himself down the stretch here. And the only people who want to see this happen are Eagles fans. I think everybody in the NFL is like, please, anybody but the Eagles win the Super Bowl this year. They're playing the 49ers. Obviously, the 49ers are going to have to go to Philadelphia. The 49ers have not made it easy on themselves. The Super Bowl is in San Francisco, but they went from being the 1 seed in their division to losing 2 games in a row and becoming, now the number 6 seed in the wild card. What do you guys see from both of these teams, and who do you expect to come out of this game between the Eagles and the 49ers?
The only reason, and I can't believe I'm doing this as a Cowboys fan, the only reason I'm picking the Eagles, and this is by the slimmest of margins, I've seen the 49ers offense light it up, but they're playing, in my opinion, the second or third best defense in the NFL. This defensive unit is quite legitimately legit. They're the only team all season to really shut down Josh Allen in a very convincing way. I think the difference maker is the 49ers offense has had so many injuries. You go down the list, Bosa, Warner, the guys they lost this offseason. And while Shanahan and his staff has done and Saleh have done such a good job of hiding that, the game that blew that door open was the Bears vs. 49ers game, 38-35?
Yeah.
Bears offense is obviously great, but I think the Eagles will be able to put up 20 points. I just don't know the 49ers can put up more than 17, and I'm picking the fucking Eagles. Holy shit. Yeah, I mean, I hate that pick. I hate that pick. I hate it. But I just as much as I like Shanahan and as much as I like what Brock Purdy has put together since he's come back from his injury, I just don't think they have the weapons to get it done. Obviously they have McCaffrey and Kittle, but
so let me get this straight.
I don't know.
You posted a video yesterday.
I just don't know what to do.
7,000 views across platforms of you saying Kyle Shanahan should be coach of the year. And you have them losing to the Eagles, your rival, in the first round?
I think the Eagles are the top to bottom most talented team in the NFL, and if there's one time that they're going to fucking excuse my language again, they're going to put it together, it has to be now. And this is me choosing, and it's a question I have for later in the segment. Talent over coaching. I think this is the time that talent beats coaching.
Okay,
I'm going to be honest with you. When I was filling out this bracket, I did mine yesterday, so my line of thinking has had a full 24 hours, and I completely forgot why I put down the 49ers to win this game. But for some reason, I just feel like they will. I feel like they've been in a better division against better competition all year. They've had one of the hardest strength of schedules. Low key, everything you said about Kyle Shanahan was kind of working on me yesterday while I was editing that video. And they have Christian McCaffrey. And I think that the Eagles have to prove that they can be reliable during this game. And I just don't know if they can do it or make mistakes against a team like San Francisco. If the 49ers were healthy, I think they would win in a bloodbath. But to be honest with you, I'm going to give a slight edge to the 49ers. I think that they're going to beat the Eagles, and I honestly have no idea why I think that. I have a vibes play, and I'm going with my gut here.
I'm with you on the vibes play. I think all of the teams from that division are going to win their first round matchup. I think all of the teams from that division are probably going to be, vying for the conference championship. The NFC West has been the best division in football all year. Kyle Shanahan's come out and said it. He's like, obviously, we're going to have to do this thing the hard way. That fired me up.
Yeah.
It's more so from an Eagles hate perspective right now that I'm picking the 49ers to win this game than factual logic or anything like that, but I just cannot put any backing behind the Eagles right now. I'm taking the 49ers to win this one.
They only put up 14 points against the Bills defense, and they are not
correct.
Yeah, no. This is not with any faith that I'm making this pick. If you ask me tomorrow, I could change this pick and I could make it the 49ers. I just, come playoff time, I trust defenses and I trust talent.
I got a question for you guys.
I got an answer for you.
Do you guys think, I don't know if you do you guys think the Arizona Cardinals could have won the NFC South? Hypothetically speaking, if they were in that division, do you think they could have won the NFC South?
Not a chance. I think the Cardinals are a mess. I think the Cardinals are such a mess.
They had 5 wins this year, George. That's 3 away.
What?
They had 3 wins this year.
Yeah, I was going to say they won 3 games.
Yeah, they had 3.
One of them
had 5.
Guess one of those wins.
Oh, well, they played a lot of teams tough. I mean, they had a fun offense.
Yeah, they beat the boys. They beat them boys.
They beat them boys.
Vintage performance.
They lost to the Falcons. They lost to the. Oh, they beat the Saints. I guess I don't know. Maybe it was before Tyler Shook though. So.
Oh.
All right. Well, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions.
I don't think so. I don't think that's true. I don't think they would win that.
I don't either. For the record, I don't think that's true either. But I was hoping someone would say yes.
Let's move on to the final game in the NFC wildcard. We have Packers versus Bears. The Packers are traveling up to Chicago to play this game. Look, I think the Packers have a better chance of winning this game if they start Malik Willis than Jordan Love. That being said, I will get killed by my girlfriend if I say that the Bears are going to beat this one. So I'm going to take the Bears here to win this game. I think that they beat the Packers at home. Not really confident in this one at all.
I think the difference is
what's worse in terms of your girlfriend being upset at you, saying the Bears are going to lose or saying, I don't think the Bears are going to win, but I'm only picking them to make her happy.
I'm just going to hope that she turned off.
We're 58 minutes deep. She's not this far in the episode.
Yeah. Shit. I mean, I think the 2 games that cemented the Bears for me are obviously the Bears' statement win over the Packers, where they've had that crazy 4th quarter comeback
against Malik Willis.
Against Malik Willis. The Broncos look like a shell of themselves without Parsons.
The Packers?
Sorry, what the hell am I saying? I mean the Packers. And I was looking at the Broncos versus Packers score. That's why I said it. The Packers look like a shell of themselves without Micah Parsons. I think the Bears win. God, it's just not easy to pick any of these games, man.
I know. Absolutely.
Dude, I'm sweating balls over here. We haven't even watched any football yet. I mean, I'm picking the Bears. I love Ben Johnson has had a great year. Caleb Williams has really proven a lot of people wrong. Somehow they've made the Colston Loveland pick look like a right pick. And they haven't even used Luther Burden yet.
They have. They've been using him. He's been really good.
He's been really good.
He averages like 10 yards a catch.
Yeah, he did go for 57 yards against my boys on one play, which pissed me the hell off. But I think I'm choosing talent on the Bears side here.
If you had asked me a week ago who I thought was going to win this game, I would have definitely told you the Chicago Bears would be able to do it at home. But then they lost to the Lions at home in a game that they were legitimately playing for. If I'm not mistaken, they played.
Yeah, they were.
They had their starters.
And they did not put up a convincing performance at all. So having watched that game against a Lions team that had nothing to play for, and in my opinion, no reason to win, I have a hard time saying the Bears. I mean, this is a game that the Bears lose. They're supposed to lose this game.
Yes.
And historically speaking, they lose this game. So I have no choice but to take the Packers. Wait, let me check my bracket again. Because again, I have no choice but to take the Chicago Bears in this game.
Look, I think the answer is that this year the Chicago Bears have won games that they are historically supposed to lose. Like it's Bears fashion for them to lose football games, and they
had a must-win game last week and that they lost.
Yeah, but it's the Bears. It's what they do, right? So like they didn't make it easy.
It's what they do.
They wanted to play the Packers. They didn't want the 1 seed.
And you know what? That's the right thing to do. They did the right thing.
Okay, so now we're moving on. We have the Seahawks. They're going to play the Rams in Georgia's divisional round here. What do you think about that game?
I think the Rams win again. I think they smoke them again.
Dude, here, Jack and I are thinking the same thing. I think
Well, Jack, we have to pick a different game because we both took the 49ers to win. So we have Seahawks 49ers, not Seahawks Rams.
No, you have Seahawks Rams.
No, you're right. No, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, Seahawks Niners. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, I forget it reseeds.
Loki just locked out for a second. It reseeds, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll quickly go through this. The reason I have the Rams beating the Seahawks, I like Sam Darnold. I do not trust him in big games. I think the defense for the Seahawks has been phenomenal all year. Jackson Smith-Njigba has been unreal.
Yep.
Difference is the Rams have Matthew Stafford, who has been, outside of 2 games this season, has been the best big game quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He has the playoff experience. He has Puka Nacua. He has Devontae Adams. He has a good run game. He has arguably the best coach in the NFL.
Yep.
It's just too much is leaning on the Rams side for me to not pick them. I think the Rams are the best team in football. I think they had a couple of bad games, and I know we should hold them accountable. But, man, they're the only team that consistently wins on the margins. They're the only team that wins in big ways. If you can do both, in my opinion, you can win the Super Bowl. I'm taking the Rams.
Okay, so he is the Rams over the Seahawks. Jack, we'll pick between Seahawks and 49ers here, the 1 versus the 6 seed matchup. This one, to me, screams the Seahawks win. They played this weekend. It was a 13 to 13 to 3 slugfest, just an ugly game of football. And I think that while, you've seen the 49ers being able to excel in prettier games of football, I think that this Seahawks defense is legitimately good. And while I think that the Rams, if they were to play them later on, we'll get to that because that's going to be the next round of my playoff bracket, right? While I think the Seahawks team is susceptible to a really high-powered offense, I just have not seen enough from the 49ers to be like, okay, I think that they're going to win this football game. I think the Seahawks beat the 49ers in the divisional round if they match up.
Yeah, we just watched this game last week. That was a playoff game because they were playing for the number 1 seed and a bye. The 49ers proved that they couldn't get it done against this super, super high-powered defense. I think we know who's going to win this game, and I'm with you. Seahawks all the way.
Okay. George, now you have to pick between the Eagles and the Bears. Have fun, dude.
See, I don't know if I'm backing myself into a corner here. And this game is going to be in Chicago.
Yes.
This is why I'm picking the Bears. It's in Chicago.
No.
This is why I'm picking the Bears, dude. Bears are fraudulent.
Bro, you know not to do that, dude. If round 1 is a game that the Bears are supposed to lose, round 2 is a game that they are supposed to get blown out.
I'm just here for a good time.
Okay.
Cue the music. Yeah. I'm here for a long time. If you know the song.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I'm picking the Bears. I don't really have much to say about this. I'm contradicting myself. I trust the talent of the Bears, in addition to Ben Johnson, to beat the talent of the Eagles and the freaking mess they have at coaching right now. It's just, goddamn.
The Eagles might be the first.
You got this, George. You're right there.
The Eagles might be the first team to win the Super Bowl and fire every coordinator they have.
Yes. I'm taking the Bears, though. I'm taking the Bears.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's taking the Bears. The Bears over the Eagles. So that leaves us, Jack. We have to pick between the Rams and the Bears. I think we're both taking the Rams here.
Yeah, no further explanation needed.
Okay.
I think the Bears, if they get to the divisional round, they will be satisfied with their season.
Yes, 100%. 100%. So, George, your conference championship is between the Rams and the Bears?
Yeah.
Okay. Break this.
I'm taking the Rams easily.
Okay.
This is going, dude. This is where the trade ends.
All right.
This is in Chicago.
It is in Chicago. Yes.
It's
just wants to pick
Stafford,
the goddamn Bears, dude. You can see it in his eyes. He wants to pick the Bears. So
I don't want to pick. I'm gonna be so for real here. The difference in this game: 3 sides of the football. Rams are better than them.
Mm-hmm.
They have better coaching. They have the better players. If you do not have the Rams going to the Super Bowl, I don't know what you're doing. This is the one.
Just you wait, my friend. Just you wait, my friend.
Wow.
Just you wait.
I'm taking the Rams, but I'm just gonna say this: Puka Nacua, incredible season. Devontae Adams, incredible season. Stafford, incredible season. Kyron Williams, incredible season. Great offense. The defense is self-explanatory. coaching is self-explanatory. Hell, even Marvis, their kicker, Marvis, whatever you want to call him, he's money. Dude, I picked him up in fantasy and I still lost, but I mean, he was there for the
Garrett
vibes.
Wilson in like the second round, so that happened.
Yeah, dude, holy hell. What the hell was I thinking? Actually, he was my third round pick because I went
first round pick was Genty, Derrick Henry, Garrett Wilson.
I mean, no, this is the best. This is the best. I mean, I had 3 of the best running backs in football for fantasy. This is a side note. Cook, Henry, Genty. Just gonna say it. But I'm taking the Rams.
Okay. He's taking the Rams to go to the Super Bowl. The Rams will win the conference here. Jack, we have the same bracket. We have to pick between the Seahawks and the Rams here. Who do you think is going to win this game?
Look, I just heard George call me an idiot, but I think that if the Rams and the Seahawks were to play in the conference championship, I would have the Seahawks winning, and here's why.
Really?
They beat them in a shootout game when they were playing into the Rams' hand. They were playing Rams football and still beat them. I have not seen the Rams play 3 great football games against 3 great teams in a row. And if they're susceptible to turnovers, which has been their Achilles heel all year, the Seahawks defense is one that's going to generate those, especially in a game like this at home in Seattle against the 12th man. I think it's a huge factor, and I think that I haven't seen the Rams play consistently great football against great teams enough for me to say they're going to beat this team. Now, let me be clear. I just switched my pick 45 seconds ago. I had the Rams down, and then I started thinking about it, and I said, I think the Seahawks will win, and I think that we will have a rematch of the 2014 Super Bowl between the Patriots and the Seahawks.
Wow, that would be awesome. Now, it should be noted that, but in the games that the Seahawks and the Rams have played, they've split the season series. The Rams won 1, the Seahawks won 1. These games were separated together combined by 3 points.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The overtime game was a 1-point game, and then the Rams beat the Seahawks 19-21. So this is going to be an absolute masterclass of a game. The reason that I have the Rams here is because the Seahawks kind of got to overtime on like a really finicky backwards pass rule for a 2-point conversion, like some hickory dickory that Vegas called in. They were like, all right, we need this game to go to OT. People are going to lose a lot of money on this. And it's for that reason and that reason alone that I'm taking the vibes pick of being a Rams guy. I've been on the Rams all year. It feels like, since a few weeks ago when things started to shake up and the Rams lost control of this division, we've still kind of stuck with the Rams. They're probably the best team in the NFC. They're going to have some really tough games. They have to play 3 road games. But I can't pick against this team. And I think that they are better than the Seahawks overall. And I simply can't say that I think Sam Darnold is going to be a Super Bowl quarterback, which is mostly the thing that is like sticking in my brain.
I think that's fair, but Matthew Stafford threw 3 picks against the Falcons last week. If he has one against the Seahawks, probably changes the game entirely.
It's a very good point. I
completely agree.
But I'm going to take the Rams here to go to the NFL Super Bowl championship. So my final Super Bowl championship stands as Patriots versus Rams. George, yours stands as Rams versus Bills. And Jack, yours stands as Patriots versus Seahawks. Let's talk about all 3 of these games, starting with Jack. You have Patriots, Seahawks. What's going to happen in this one?
If you think I have taken the Patriots to go all the way to the Super Bowl and I'm going to have them lose to the Seahawks, you are a fool. I think the Patriots, if they get there, will beat the Seahawks because their offense is better than the Seahawks defense. I'm standing on it. I've let myself off. There is absolutely no way I'm going to mark the Patriots to lose at any spot in this playoffs. I think that they will beat the Seahawks if they get there in the Super Bowl.
Glaze.
Bro, you wish once in your life you had a team that you could glaze.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I had it, and then we traded Luka.
23. All right, George, talk to me about Rams versus Bills here.
See, there comes a point in time where the margins get so thin, you have to trust the formula. And I think the Rams formula has been the most trustworthy all season. I don't think that the Bills will create enough pressure. I don't think, frankly, the Bills are going to be able to match the Rams' high-powered offense. I think this will be I don't know what kind of game, but I have the Rams winning.
Okay.
I have the Rams winning a Super Bowl. Stafford winning his second one, cementing his place in the NFL Hall of Fame and making us all wonder why he did not leave Detroit sooner.
Yeah, I mean, I am from the future, and I'm going to tell you the Los Angeles Rams are going to win the Super Bowl.
Fucking bad fan. Shitty guy.
I love it.
And if they don't, we're going to re-record this in 4 weeks.
If the Patriots win the Super Bowl and you told me that they were going to lose after getting all the way to the Super Bowl, I'm clipping this up and posting it everywhere. Foxborough native is a huge douchebag.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. So those are our NFL playoff picks. Trust me, we'll talk about every single game as they happen. These are not set in stone. We have no idea what's going to happen, as you could tell by the fact that it took us like 40 minutes to get through that. There is so much to talk about with this playoffs. Somehow the Eagles are going to come out on top, and we're all going to hate ourselves.
New segment of the show, boys. Curious George, curious question. So I'm going to propose, I have two, but I'm just going to do one for the sake of time, and it's specifically to the NFL playoff format. So I have an option for an NFL playoff format change that might be interesting. I saw it and I was intrigued. I see two teams this year in the NFL playoffs who I don't think deserve to be there. And this is my change to the format. So the top three record-wise division winners make it, guarantee. Then you have four of the next best records in the conference make it. So you only have three division winners make it, and one division winner can make it if they have the record. But if they don't have the record, there's no automatic bid.
So this is just an automatic fuck you to the AFC North and to the NFC South.
Hey, so the reason I say this is I think it would incentivize more teams to play for a playoff spot at the end of the year when they know that there's an actual chance, rather than two teams in the division literally playing two disgusting games. I'm sorry, both of the NFC South matchups were some of the worst football I've ever seen played in a meaningful way ever. 19-16.
But the thing is, like, your question would still leave us with the two same playoff teams. You just wouldn't have a division winner. The Steelers still would have had the
no. I guess the Steelers would have made it, but it would have caused another team in the AFC. Let me pull up if my ESPN doesn't keep glitching. It would have caused a team. Well, I know in the NFC it would have been Lions or the Vikings. It would have caused another team to play for the last spot. It probably would have called.
I'll ask it. Is this because you wanted the Cowboys to get in at 9-8?
So.
Some fishy's going on here.
No, I mean, honestly, I think I just wanted to see some better first round matchups. I thought there was two first round matchups where I could choose the winner. It's either you make it. I
have a couple issues with your thing. First of all, the three division winners is tough because there's four divisions.
Yes, I know.
So that part logistically doesn't make sense. And then you're still left with four wild card spots. And in most years, it's probably going to end up being the same team anyways, is in one of those four wild card spots. And there's no benefit to them anyways. So if you're going to have three division winners, why don't you then have three wild card spots and no first round bye?
Why should, wait, so your proposal is that the fourth division winner does not get a first round bye?
Wait, that wouldn't make sense.
Oh, no, I mean, your first, sorry.
That would be that no one gets a first round bye.
No one gets a first round bye.
Yeah, but that still wouldn't work.
I'm going to be honest,
I don't like this at all.
You don't like this at all?
I don't like this at all.
Do you think they have the formula correct?
I'm going to be honest with you. I liked the formula a lot more when we were younger, where the first two teams got a bye, and then there were two wild card teams. I liked that a whole lot more.
I like the selectiveness of that. I do think that the NFL is so talented now that I feel like they had to bump it up to one more.
True. I don't hate our playoff format at all. I just think, like, if you want to see another team get in that wasn't in this year, why wouldn't you just add a fourth wild card team and then make it so that no one gets a first round bye?
I think the way I was going with this thought wise was more so, I thought it was like we had a great race at like week 15, week 16, and then when it became week 17, week 18, we just had two spots to watch for.
Yeah.
One in the NFC, one in the AFC. I think it would have been more interesting to see a team like Indianapolis really fight to actually win some of these last games to see if they could sneak in, or a team like, frankly, Baltimore, they screwed themselves up. Obviously, it's less important in the AFC. In the NFC, would have been super interesting to see Cowboys, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Detroit, Minnesota, any of these teams really give it a really strong last push to try and get that last spot. Obviously,
I think
Carolina
that's true, but
sneaks in there.
I think it's still, that's just kind of the way football is. No matter how many teams you let in, no matter whatever the deal may be, you're still going to have that fight at the bottom. And although this year's wasn't phenomenal like maybe we've seen in years past, regardless of the format, you're always going to have teams fighting to get in. Sometimes you might just be like, man, I wish we could watch these teams, but they sucked so bad all year, they didn't even get the opportunity to do so.
That's completely fair.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think that the playoff format is solid the way that it is. It's probably the best that it can be. I also don't want to invalidate the value of divisional games. Like, look, there's always going to be a weakest division in football, just as it is, and there's always going to be a team that doesn't deserve to be in the playoffs that is in the playoffs, right? This year it was the Panthers. Are they going to get steamrolled in the first round? We certainly think so. But like, I also think that, like, you know, despite the fact that both of these teams have won ugly football games, and there are 3 teams in this division that are sitting at 8 and 9, like, the fact of the matter is that is what football is about, right? Like, if you're in the NFC South, like, maybe you don't have to play as many high quality games as some of these other divisions, but like, division, right? Like, that has to mean something, in my opinion. Winning the division has to mean something.
That's a good point.
I think. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I get that. Maybe this is just me wearing my voice.
I think really you just wish that those teams were better than they were this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, I think we wrap the episode up there, boys. George, you got a hard out, so we will figure it out. We'll be back later this week with another episode. 2 episodes this week. How crazy is that? Playoffs are back.
Yeah,
let's go. Playoffs are back, baby. My boys might not be in it, but then at least that means I don't get disappointed. Let's go.
Facts.
Come on.
Look
at
the
happened.
Side,
yeah. Regardless, we'll see you all later this week. Thank you for listening. As always, this has been the Corner Office, and I'm Jack Byrne.
I'm Alex Penders.
And I'm G Money.
Corner 3.